I think that it was scary, but I don't know. There is a word in English for people who is stubborn. Right? Yeah, stubborn. Probably I am a stubborn person. I moved to the UK 9 years ago. Today I can speak in English, but 9 years ago was not that easy. It's like, wow, this guy is becoming rich because he's running led by community. No, no. It's more like the cost were way more than sponsors' contribution. I would say that we couldn't break even for this last year. We ran the very first Community Everywhere Summit online. It was 3 days of sessions, no, 2 days. Actually, it was insane. 7 hours of talks each day.
So you basically created an entire summit just to increase your newsletter subscribers.
The feedback was insane. Like the love for the experience, the love for the speakers, the love for the program, and everything we did was amazing. It's coming from my pocket right now until sponsors chime in and say, hey, we are committing. But at the beginning, everything was Francisco's pocket to kind of feed everything, because like providers and vendors, they don't wait for the last day to get paid. They ask money in advance. All the work behind the conference was from 0 to 1. I did almost everything. And all that happened while in that time I was head of growth and community at Betterment. Now, today we have 28 volunteers. Without the volunteers that we have today, 28, nothing of this will be possible. Many of them were help me or organizing the food. Other group was doing the check-ins. Other groups were helping people with the name tags. Also this year, we have 2 tracks. Mostly because I want to give a chance to everyone to speak. No, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Again, I'm betting on that. It's because no, it's the only way. No,
Yeah.
it's the only way. It's the only way.
Yeah.
You are the only one who have heard the whole thing.
Welcome to Beginner Maps, where we interview operators of top community businesses to unpack their magic sauce with you. Today, I am thrilled to have Francisco Opazo with us. Francisco is the founder of Led by Community, an online and now in-person community for community professionals. Last year, Francisco did something that most creators just dream of doing one day. He created the Community Everywhere Summit, which is an in-person conference that brought together over 200 industry professionals from around the world. That's amazing. I believe Francisco is singular in this feat because I've never heard of any creator who has managed to create like one of the industry's leading conferences as a creator. So I'm really excited to have you here, Francisco, and can't wait to dig into all your magic sauce.
That sounds too big for me, but thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really pumped. I have seen no, other of your episodes and interviews, and wow, I have learned so much. So I'll do my best today, sharing my learnings, my mistakes, and also probably the good moments of this journey. It's been
Yeah,
2 years and a half at least of the Led by Community journey in total. No, so yeah, it's exciting.
that's amazing. Yeah, so 2.5 years, and last year was the first time that you did this in-person conference, right?
Yes, so I can, if you want, I can go through the story a bit because there are many kind of stages. So people can have the whole story because like I'm sure a few professionals, community professionals,
Mhm.
are becoming aware of us just now, right?
Right, that's right.
But we
Yeah.
have been like kind of building up for some time to reach where we are. So
Mhm.
Led by Community 2 years and a half ago started as a way to keep track of community resources. Like in that time, I was the first marketing hire at circle.so. No, during that time,
Okay.
I was working directly with Andrew Guttormsen, one of the co-founders. He was my boss, direct report, right? So we were spending lots of time together, and I learned so much from him. And then while that was happening, I always was like with the FOMO of I'm not part of the community team at Circle. I am the marketing guy, right? So, and I even like after some months working with them, I said, hey, do you feel that there is a chance I can take some hours out of my marketing role and help in the community, Mathilde and the rest of the team? Even Pedro was not there in that time. And they say, your contribution and impact regarding revenue is way higher if you do marketing than if you go back in the community, right?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it's true. So I kind of, no, I was like, just like a bit, I mean, I understand the point, and I was a bit sad because, but how can I get involved more and stuff? No, like the backstory is, I was already, before moving to the UK, no, like I moved to the UK 9 years ago. Before that, I ran my own digital agency around 8 years in Latin America. And what we were doing, we were building websites and mobile apps for customers. So after a few years, the same customer says, hey, do you do social media, paid acquisition, all that? And I said, we don't. So I put my team to build the webs and apps, and I went heads down learning all that. So after some time, we started to also offer in marketing services, social media management. And around 12 years ago or 14 years ago, my small agency, we were 8 people working for me. The name of that
Mm.
agency was Be Creative. Actually, the legal company in the UK is Be Creative as well. But
Eh?
what we were doing, we came out with the idea, even like without all the technical stuff that today we know as community building. I said, the best way to keep your people happy is create Facebook groups. So we were managing
Mm.
around 40 brands, managing social media, and each one of them has a Facebook group. So my team and myself, we were the whole day managing Facebook groups. Was insane, crazy times. And that time, the Facebook group was like at the bus and like kind of the best thing, after the sliced bread. But that was the first kind of direct experience regarding building customer communities on Facebook groups. That's why I was always close to that. No, and then, well, we were doing that almost 6 years. Then once I moved to the UK, because, well, my first language is Spanish. Today I can speak in English, but 9 years ago was not that easy. No, right? So I said, what can I do to kind of help people and also improve my English? So I came up with the
Mm.
idea to create a Facebook group to teach people to build communities on WordPress. Because I built websites on WordPress, I knew I'm very kind of advanced WordPress. I said I am a WordPress Jedi. So what I did, I created a Facebook group to help people build communities on WordPress. So I
Mm.
created a group. It was the name BuddyBoss users because
Yeah.
BuddyBoss was a plugin to build communities on WordPress. And the group rapidly grew up in 2 months up to 600 people. I was with my English 9 years ago, helping people. Hey, when you want to set up this, you need to do this, you need to do that. Or sometimes the product has bugs. And I said, hey, don't update yet because there is a bug that is crashing the sites. Please hold. I was like the kind of I don't know the word, but like the guy like announcing all the bad things as well. No, after 3 months, one guy reached out on Facebook chat and say, hey, my name is Tom Chedadi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BuddyBoss. Oh, I was scared. I was scared. I said, oh, this guy is going to kill my Facebook group. That was my first thought. No, and then he was kind on the chat. He was kind on the chat because no, I said, okay. And then he says, hey, do you feel that no, we can have a chat? Maybe we wanted to just say thank you because all the help you are doing in your community for our customers. Because in the end, I was helping their customers, right? And they said, okay, let's do it. So we set up a Zoom call, 3 hours, the first call. Was so much to talk about. No, I tell my story, I tell the why and all that. So after that call, we have another call, and he says, I'm going to speak with my co-founder, Michael Eisenweiser, because I feel that you should join us. But I don't know
Mm.
how. I don't know yet how, which position, how. In that time, the BuddyBoss team was like 30 people total, 30. So I said, okay, well, it's like your call. No, you can come with an offer and let me know. In that time, I was working as a more like a growth consultant because marketing is my first superpower, marketing, right? So like 3 days later, he came back to me and says, hey, I have an offer for you. Let's have another call. So we did a call and they gave me an offer and I joined as head of community. That was my contract.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happened was they gave me access before time to the Slack of the company before my official date, and I started to join calls, the product calls, marketing calls, and all the calls because I was kind of allowed. But I started to intervene and say, "Hey, this feature is clunky. Hey, this is ugly. You should do this. You should improve that way and that." And so what happened was 3 days before I joined, he called me back and said, "Hey, Francisco, I think that we have the right person in the wrong place. These guys are not hiring me," I thought. And he says, "No, no, 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 it's all good. But I feel that you should join us as a marketing manager rather than a head of community."
Wow.
So in my role ended up being marketing manager the first year. After the first year, things went really well. So I kind of leveled up to director. But in the end, I was leading the whole marketing function. I built a marketing team from scratch up to 18 people working under my wing. The revenue went crazy. Things were like, also pandemic came in. So like everything exploded. So it was a beautiful experience, for me, kind of supporting the growth of BuddyBoss as a WordPress community plugin. And also the whole time I was leading the BuddyBoss community, even though I was not
Mhm.
community title, right?
Mm.
So what happened with time, my group that was kind of like a fandom group turned out to become today the official BuddyBoss Facebook group. No, so then when I left the company, I say, hey guys, I think that this should be yours now. So like kind of
Right.
officially yours. So after 2 years and a half working together, I left. No, I needed a break, and then they kind of took over the ownership of that community that I built from zero. No, today they are like many thousands there, but yeah, was kind of my baby from scratch. So and then
That is
after
such a
that,
cool origin story. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
have to
it's
say.
crazy story. Many things are happening. That's why I said it's a man. Honestly, and no one has any idea of this. Like, when people see this guy, where this guy came from, like they don't connect yet the dots because they don't know the whole background of the story. No,
Mm.
well, my English at least improved with that community, so that was good. That was the best perk, the best perk. And then during pandemic, because of WordPress, always WordPress has been in my life the last 14, 16 years. So because during pandemic, I created a community to help people who run WooCommerce stores, e-commerce, no, on
Mm.
WordPress. And I said, I should try to run this not on WordPress, on different platform. So that's why I came to Circle. No, so I ran this Goo Launcher. Even today, that site exists as a blog only, goolauncher.com,
Okay.
goolauncher.com. And I run a community up to like I would say like 400 WooCommerce e-commerce owners. I was only online during pandemic, right? And it was on Circle. So because I needed also to share feedback with the Circle guys about, hey, we need this, we need that. I joined the Circle community and was very active, also helping everyone there. And then they say, hey, we are hiring our first marketer. And I said, this is for me. So I sent an email to no to the CEO, no, to the co-founder Andrew. That was the growth kind of no C-level growth, and they never replied back.
Okay.
Like a month gone, and they never replied back. So I said, yeah, maybe I'm not yet at that kind of level. I don't know. And then after a month, he replied back to me an email and say, hey Francisco, this is great. Apologies for not replying back, but we were with our summit and we were crazy and we couldn't like kind of put our heads down. But I want to meet you. I want to have a chat. Okay. So I have a chat with Andrew. Then I met Sid, the current CEO, and also Rudy, that is like kind of the
Mm.
product design Jedi there. No?
Right.
So and then I also met Mathilde, finally kind of face to face over Zoom, and the rest of a few other team members. And then I end up joining them, no, in working for them a bit more than a year. As the first marketing hire, doing everything from scratch. In that time, their website was one page, homepage. That was that was Circle marketing site. So I built workshops page, showcase page, webinars replays page, like the whole kind of operations from the ground up, on top of the paid acquisition and all that. So yeah,
Mm.
so that year was really good. Things went up. Also with Circle, we grow revenue and all that. So everyone hugs and happy and kisses and all that, no? But I still feeling that I need to kind of contribute to the industry in a better way. No, not as a marketer.
Mm.
That's my point. No, that I still that feeling that I need to help, like, I don't know, like with higher impact or at bigger scale. I don't know. No, it's
Mhm.
not about the money. Even today,
Yeah.
led by community is not like kind of making me rich, zero at all. It's like just like kind of surviving. No, because actually I have been working full time for a few companies since led by community started. So it's not like a led by community is like a wow, this guy is becoming rich because he's running led by community. No, no, it's more like I am, like kind of, with the support of different kind of brands and even partners like other consultants, we have been able to run certain initiatives like summits and events and stuff, mostly keeping like the budgets very friendly, so I can actually cope with that, and they are still happy getting the work done, right? So very like
Mhm.
that's still, even like all approaches is still very friendly on that side, because it's not like I am like generating hundred thousands because of this. No, it's not yet at that level. We are kind of slowly baby steps. And then where we are, so when Led by Community started, I said, okay, so the newsletter started. That was started 2 years and a half ago, the newsletter. So what I did first, the big advantage, this is a trick. No one has it because it's a trick. Because I was always working close to community platforms. I was always spying them all. I was always
Mm.
like doing benchmarking between platform features. So I had already my list of 45 community platforms, no? And yeah, really, the list keep growing. But in that time, 2 years and a half ago, the list was 47. 47.
Mm.
So I needed, okay, I have all these community platforms, so I know if they publish something cool, I can share on my newsletter. Then I became aware of other more like consultants that were doing nice stuff, contributions. So I kind of started to create my whole list of podcasts, of consultants, of newsletters, of community platforms, and then putting that together in one newsletter every week. The task was titanic. I didn't realize how big the task and the commitment was. So I did that alone 2 months, and then I churned. I said, I have two
Mm.
options. I stopped the newsletter because on top was not growing like crazy fast. because the niche where we move is a bit close to the B2B side of things, no, enterprise, B2B, tech, no. So at the beginning, it was not growing that fast. Like, yeah, I remember the first month, 30 people subscribe. The second month, 25. But from these 50 people who joined the first 2 months, a few of them reach out saying, hey, thank you for this. It's really, really helpful. I love it. And then I remember Jay Elango, no, she's an Indian community builder. She reached out and said, Francisco, do you need help? Do you want to do something else? How can I help? And I said, I would love to be able to run online events so we can actually have an impact on more people with one effort. And she says, I am ready. I'm well connected with community builders in the industry. I'll take over as a volunteer that task, and I'll help you kind of pitch speakers to bring to your online events. And I was like, wow, this is a dream. I cannot believe it. Like someone is offering their free time to volunteer and help with this. I was like, oh, I cannot believe it. I was so dream. Then the like 2 weeks later, another reader, Nicola Earl, that today is a volunteer and she has help everywhere. She reached out and said, Francisco, do you need help? And I said, right now we are pitching speakers to run online events with them, but I need a host. Like 2.5 years ago, to be honest, even today, I'm still feeling really like scared to host events myself. So I said, I need a host. Are you able to help me hosting events, facilitating? She said, yeah, of course. I have been doing that forever. So Nicola Earl jumped in as the official host of Led by Community online events 2 years ago, roughly. So I said, we got the perfect tripleta. Like I am kind of operations content, like Jay was helping us with the speakers. And then and Nicola was like, started to host the events. And we started very humble, one event per month. So the first 2-3 months, we ran one event only. Also, like the attendance rate was 20, 25, very slow. Mostly people reading the newsletter in that time. And then, well, gradually the snowball started to work. Now the newsletter started to move a bit faster, still not crazy, a bit faster. And then also the same, like a snowball with the events. So events started to move faster. Like long story short, today, for instance, we are running 4 online events every month. Yeah, it's a lot.
crazy.
It's a lot. And
Yeah,
all
it's a
events
lot.
are free. All events are free to join. You can we have our workshops with community pros. Another series named Talks and Pros. We have another series that I led myself, like kind of as facilitator, is named the Community Experience, where we teach actually to build communities, different type of communities with different community platforms. We are not sold on a community platform here. It's no bias. Now that we are going to talk about no bias later, but no bias is like how I decided to run this from day one. And no bias means help everyone also. Like it's not like this is another community of community builders is kind of competing and you don't want to help. Nah, like no, we help everyone. Like we don't no bias. That has been kind of the leading principle from day one. And then going there, so those were the small events. So the first year, 2023 was the year where online events started, and then I was desperate because we have done together so much work, but the newsletter was not growing as fast as I like. I remember, let's say in 2023, around September 2023, the newsletter was like 1,000 readers. And we were working hard already 9 months, but it was only 1,000 readers. So I felt a bit disheartened because, wow, it's so much work and why we are not growing fast. So I said, I need to come up with an idea to grow the newsletter fast. And that was Community Everywhere Online Summit. Actually, I'm going to drop the link here because you can include it later in the resources for people as reference. So we created and we launched communityeverywhere.com. Well, I actually bought the domain communityeverywhere.com. In that time, also, my friend Richard Millington started to pitch this idea of community everywhere and bring the concept back to the discussion. So November 2023, we ran the very first Community Everywhere Summit online. It was 3 days of sessions. 2 days, actually was insane. 7 hours of talks each day. Yes, we have all the recordings of these 40 sessions on YouTube. 40 sessions on YouTube. So yeah, it was like crazy good. Like because like Brian was there, Jamie Langslov was there. Richard Millington also participated and contributed. So like very kind of 40 professionals of the world were keen and helped to make this happen. And the good news,
was it still just you and Nicola and just the 3-person team?
Well, by then I think that we have like 2 more volunteers also helping us. But
Okay, but
people
all
like
volunteers.
every other month, people started to offer help, offer help.
Mm.
Today, just like to have a sense of how much, today we have 28 volunteers.
Okay, that is
Yeah, I have
insane.
in our private community membership, we have a chat space, no, with all the kind of, we call them, I learned this concept from my friends of CMX, the
Hmm.
concept communitier.
Mm.
Communitier, no? I actually led the London chapter for a year at CMX as well before I started led by community, right? But I also, so I use the term communitier for these volunteers, right? So we have today 28 people as a volunteers that helps on different things. And also we have a community advisory board that are 9 members on top of the volunteers, different
Right.
professionals with very diverse backgrounds and kind of ethnics and everything. So we have really like a sense of diversity as well. Yeah, so we also enabled a community advisory board. We met once per quarter to kind of say, hey,
Right.
Francisco, this was bad. You need to improve. Hey, this is good. Keep it going. Also, I bring to the table my ideas and we brainstorm together, right? But it's really valuable what the community advisory board is doing for led by community. And so the big news after this community everywhere in November 2023 is that 1,200 people RSVP for the summit. But because
Oh.
everything was free, my requirement was, hey, you need to join my newsletter. Come on. So the only way to get in was join the newsletter. So that happened. And after this big event, my newsletter doubled in a month. Right? So that was like, oh, big breakthrough moment. Finally, we crossed 2,000. Yeah.
So
Right.
you basically created an entire summit just to increase your newsletter subscribers. That
Well,
has to be the most work anybody's ever done to grow their newsletter.
but it was like the big contribution. Like still today, the sessions are there valuable for everyone. So yeah, but that was like kind of one of the big kind of goals of grow faster the newsletter because that will impact everywhere else, no? So then, during the idea of having an in-person conference was not yet in my mind because I was always like seeing that like a crazy big commitment, and it is, no? So when the summit was running, and I saw 1,200 people RSVP, even a company, no, that till recently we were tech partners, is named
Hmm.
gradual.com,
Hmm.
no? So we
Yeah.
have Jerry Lee as the founder, Kyle, no, that is like kind of operations, no, in the C level, and then also Laura, that is like this level of supporting. This company, gradual.com, facilitates us the platform to run the online summit experience. So that was that was our first kind of big collaboration with an enterprise brand. No, Gradual
Mm.
was a big partner for us from day one to make things happen, mostly to provide that kind of decent experience online for the online summit. No, their platform is crazy good for conferences. Then during this community everywhere summit, no, I was the one managing the whole streaming behind the scenes, the whole day, 7 hours per day. My wife was mad. Hey, you cannot be the whole day in the screen and stuff. And I said, sorry, it's 3 days only. Like, but yeah, she understood the idea. So what happened is that the first day, the average was 200 people live during the sessions.
Mm.
So I was like,
Right.
wow, it's amazing. 200 people seeing all these talks, beautiful. So like encouraging. So I went crazy and says, what can I do to turn this and bring live, a conference in London? And then I said, in that time, Valentina Ruffoni, she was helping another company named Finimize as managing a conference. And I said, hey, Valentina, do you know a place in London that is not crazy expensive, where we can host at least 120 people to make something happen? And she recommended one place in London. And then I called, hey, guys, do you have this date free? And I said, yes. Okay. I chose the day that the first issue of newsletter came out, July 10th. Now, so in
Mm.
2022, July
Hmm.
10th, I sent my first
Right.
newsletter out. No, so
Ah.
then in 2024, July 10th, we ran the first community-led World Summit in conference in London.
Wow.
And
Hey.
then that day, when no one is aware of those details, but when we were starting the conference the day, I said, it's not coincidence that we are meeting today. Now, today we led by community celebrates 2 years, right? So
I
the
love
last
that.
year, July 10th, we celebrated 2 years. And this year, July 10th again, we celebrate 3 years with the
That is
no,
so
London
cool.
Community Week. So now is the kind of anniversary week that we are doing stuff, no?
Yeah.
And then also, we also, Community Everywhere was online, no? And then I decided at the beginning, when I pitched the idea, at the end of Community Everywhere Online, I announced that, hey, we are going crazy and we're going to have something in London happening in July 10th, 2024.
Mhm.
Then everything, the madness started. Right? The madness started. Like then, okay, how we can manage speaker applications? How do we manage like 100,000 things that a conference needs? The food, the budgets, the program, the check-in, then also, well, oh, and then all the sponsorship stuff. But until that time, I haven't yet worked much doing or asking for sponsorship because everything was like kind of happening through volunteers. So not crazy money was required. I was paying like a few tools and things like that, right? But in general, everything was like in goodwill happening. But to
Yeah.
make that conference happening, the food is not free, the place is not free, many other elements, audio, video, and stuff is not free. So I needed a way to get support. So I started to create on Canva my deck, my also my first time pitching a sponsorship deck, but kind of worked. No, so in we got, yeah, I'm going to open the page so I don't forget, but to mention all the people who help. But for instance, in 2024, we got Better Mode as a sponsor, Gainsight, Disco, the disco.co, Disco. We got Chorus, Talkbase, Vocal Video, Kretz, Gradual, Rosieland, Community Strategy Academy from Brian, the Community Collective from Pass. Also, my friends at Circle helped. No,
It's
so all these
amazing.
were people and brands that and different ways contributed to make the Community-led World Summit in London happening last year. I would say it was not a way to generate money. Like,
Mm.
well, the cost over were way more than sponsors' contributions. And also, the ticket price was very friendly. No, mostly to be honest, I just wanted to establish the conference this first year. Like we need just to make this happening, rather than
Yeah.
let's make this a way to make money. No, like the only goal was let's make it happen, and after that we can figure out how to grow if it's possible at all, right? But I put on myself that challenge to let's make it happen, and all that happened while in that time I was head of growth and community at Better Mode. No, no, so I had my full-time gig.
The,
No, and then I remember this is a very sensible moment for me. Uh, like all the work behind the conference was I did like not to brag, but like to be honest, from 0 to 1, I did almost everything. Like almost, I didn't wanted to bother others, mostly because I wanted to learn everything. How do you actually, because if someday I need to lead a team to run conference, I want to know exactly what are they going through. So I did everything, like from 0 to 1, everything, every little thing that happened in the summit, it was me. No, and
that
then
is
yeah, it was crazy. No, and then the big support was from Margot Miller, because Margot Miller reached out and say, "Hey, Francisco, I love your idea. I love that you are trying to bring people together in the UK because everything in the US happening, nothing on this side." And I said, "Yeah, it's true. I love the idea. I'm still. I was very honest with her. Like, hey, I'm still struggling. Mostly it's coming from my pocket right now until sponsors chime in and say, hey, we are committing. But at the beginning, everything was Francisco's pocket to kind of feed everything because like providers and vendors, they don't wait for the last day to get paid. They ask money in advance. So, and also we brought a few speakers from Canada, US, Europe, well, past came from Australia. No? So a few of the speakers needed some help to come. No, most of
mm,
them, to be honest, most of them came in a more like a partner way. No, so for instance, many of them didn't ask for a speaking fee. That so you understand the goodwill that things were doing, like in the way that the things were happening. Everything was in a very goodwill way because they knew that this is kind of 100% bootstrapped by Francisco. No, it's not like kind of CMX, VC baked by Baby that has hundreds of millions to like, well, we pay whatever, right? It's not the same. Like, it's totally different
yeah.
story. No, actually, this year, Baby is already a sponsor for the London Community Week. No, and the CEO of Baby is coming and is going to give a talk as well at the summit, and he will be a jury for the hackathon part of the
Mm,
London Community Week. So even Baby is now showing goodwill towards what we are building, giving us a hand, with resources. So yeah, kudos for them also to don't honestly the big thing for me is that they don't see this as a threat. They just see
that,
this as a hey, let's help the industry together, right? So this is very important, and it's like in my line with no bias. Like
mhm.
no, this like we just want to help. It's not about competition, right? So And then I was not in the bit of how kind of many of the expenses were covered and stuff. So the hard expenses were paid with money because no escape. At the beginning with my money, and then once sponsors chime in and say, "Hey, we can help," so then cash came in, and then the things started to get more balanced. No, I would say that we couldn't break even for this last year. No, we couldn't. Like kind
Oh,
of
okay.
Francisco budget was used anyway. Like I had
Okay.
to put from my own lots anyway, like to kind of make things smooth, But that's okay. Like no problem. Like that's okay. No, a few big things were maybe done that were not necessarily at that stage. No, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, one big lesson for me was a live streaming. We spent money on a
Mm,
live streaming, but
mm,
I would say that not like that was a big expense with a low impact for because the people able to join online was not many. Mostly because the London schedule was totally different time zone than US. So yeah, that was not a smart move. That put expenses higher. No, so now for
mm,
this year, we are not doing nothing live streaming. It's everything local. We are recording the
mm.
sessions for attendees afterwards for like learning and study research, but it's not like a full fancy live streaming. No, it was a very
Right,
high
right.
level production what we did. No,
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so but that was a mistake at that time. It was not necessarily for the stage where that the things were was not. I missed out on
Mm.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I love this. This is yeah.
yeah,
I mean, sorry to interrupt, but just like you set the stage beautifully for just how amazing of a feat that you've accomplished. Like as a solo person, you were handling the entire conference like end to end, as you said, like by yourself, and who does that? Nobody does that.
it's hard.
And yeah.
Crazy, just crazy people, man. Just crazy people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
like I have like so many questions that I want to just ask you, and I'm sure that people listening who maybe want to do like conference or at least like a one day thing, maybe not as big as led by communities conference, but yeah, there are a lot of things that you did and a lot of the this hard earned knowledge that you have that yeah we should unpack here. So uh,
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
okay, so
I think
yeah,
you
go ahead.
have a few questions. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, first question is about securing the locations. You mentioned that you made a call and you reserved that location. So, did you basically just pay out of your pocket to reserve that location on that date?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I called the place we booked was Rich Mix in Shoreditch
Okay.
area. That is a very central location in London. The place was
Right.
not high, like kind of state of the art. Was
Yeah.
but it was like okay, no.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then also was not in the crazy high side of things. Like yeah,
Right.
I remember we spent I would say total maybe like almost 8K, roughly 9K in pounds for
Okay.
the whole because we needed two areas, no, one area for the stage
Right.
and the second area for
Yeah.
sponsors and the catering. So yeah,
Mm,
in the total we needed like we took over a whole floor of that building
mm.
to be able to
Got
run
it.
the show. And
Yeah.
then also that included like kind of unlimited coffee, unlimited tea, and like dedicated Wi-Fi bits, and then
Yeah.
also a few operations team from them that was required to
Right.
like I don't know turn on the lights and connect dots
Yeah.
and they connect the audio and stuff, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, at the beginning, I explained to them, hey, I'm bootstrapping this idea. I have a hunch that people will commit, plus sponsors might think value, might feel value on
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I can pay like in three kind of installments. So to
Right.
kind of secure the place, I put down 2K, and then I kept
Mm.
every month adding more.
Right.
So until
Okay. Okay.
like yeah, probably like even like 1 week before the event, I kind of finished everything
Right. Okay.
on that bit.
This
No, yeah.
this
Similar
is
happened with the
fantastic.
catering
And
bit. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I've got like a question, like a personal question here. Like, wasn't it scary to put down that deposit? Before you had even told people that this was happening, and before you had any sort of sponsors or ticket sales or anything like that.
I think that it was scary, but I don't know. There is a word in English for people who is stubborn, right? Yeah, stubborn. Probably I am a stubborn person. So when I felt I committed, I cannot go back now. Like I need to keep my word, and
Mm.
no matter what, I'll make it happen. Like that was my in my heart. I had very that idea like strong. Like it's like kind
Right.
of the Inception, like the movie, the Inception. Like it has to happen.
Mm.
And then everything started to like happening around, and second level and third level and first level, and boom, we got it. It happened. At the end of
Okay.
the no of the conference, I could see the thing, like turning, right? The session happening. So yeah, I feel that it's true. It was scary. Well, in that
Yeah.
time, I
Because
had
that,
a sorry. Go on.
yeah. I was just saying, because at that point, like even after all the signups that you had, like emails you had collected from the online conference, you had like about 2,500 emails in your email newsletter.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now you're booking a 200-person
yeah,
theater for the conference. Like that is almost 10% of your entire email
yeah,
audience, so to say.
yeah, yeah. What we did in that time, I needed a strategy to make it happen. So I came up and say, we should start moving faster with London meetups. That was the
Mm,
strategy to make things move faster. So in that time, honestly, like when I committed to this, I feel that like the whole universe was like kind of conspiring to make this happen with me, because when I committed to this, the month after, Fabric opened in London. Fabric is a kind of co-working space that mostly is focused on building and providing a gathering space for community builders. So you have a membership, but you can run meetups for your communities. So
mm,
in that time, they opened one of those in London. And I'm not sure. And Serena, that is a community builder from US, she connected me with the founder. No, and
mm,
then they came to London for the big launch of Fabric in London, and then they invited me to attend. No, so I attended this kind of opening event, and then we have a kind of private conversation how we can partner together to, because I have community builders on my list that can kind of become customers for them. And then they said, so Francisco, we are going to give you a hand. You can run a meetup every month here. We can even give you a breakfast for them. You pay the lunch, but we can give you a breakfast, right? As a way to bring people in to know the place, and indirectly we were kind of supporting each other. So Fabric opens and we started to run meetups in London every month.
mm,
So we ran 4 meetups before the London summit, and that helped us with raising awareness local.
mm.
No, so that was the strategy. I would say that our meetups, an average the RSVP was 40, the
Mm,
attendance 25, 28. No, so and then a few of them were actually then attendees of the conference. No,
right.
so yeah,
Okay.
so yeah.
So that's
Also,
the strategy. Like, yeah,
yeah, I
go
think
ahead.
that was like a smart way to first get emails from local, because you don't know
Yeah.
exactly like who is from London on your subscriber unless you ask, but not everyone answer. It's not that easy, right? But I feel that that was like the strategy that helped us fill the gap, to get more
Mm.
people in. The place was planned to host 120 people, and also all the everything like, and we got actually 130 that day. Yes, yeah, because one of the
I love that.
sponsors, I remember Coros, on top
Yeah.
of the sponsorship package, because when you become a sponsor, you get like a few tickets part of your package. On top of what they got, they bought 20 more to invite their
Mm.
kind of VIP Europe customers to the conference, right? So that was a boost on, not planned boost on the attendance, right? I was
Right.
dreaming if I get 100, it's done. And then we were doing the count and hey, 132. Oh my gosh, like yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
I
That we,
love
we
that. That
actually
is.
we ran out of coffee like 3 p.m. because there were more than planned people, right? So,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, we cannot do it. There's no way to bring coffee at this time. It's okay, like it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a few jokes and things stuff
Okay.
like that happened. Yeah.
I love this.
So yeah, no,
Okay.
it's so many adventures, man. It's so many adventures. What I wanted to share, I'm not sure if it's related, but like it's a titanic task to run a conference in person, especially at this level of like limited resources. No, then
Mm,
the good part was when things happen, like the feedback was insane. Like the love for the experience, the love for the speakers, the love for the program, and everything we did, it was amazing. I sent my Senja form after. We got 40 testimonials, man, 40. And when
Oh,
you go to the
wow.
community-led world summit, at the bottom you
Yeah.
see
Yeah, I
all the
saw that.
feedback from people, and then also a few kind of, well, we have also like influencers type of professionals like Richard Millington, Brian, Carrie, Melissa Jones, right? Even Richard give us a huge shout. He says, I have it as quote in my website. He says, as someone who used to run events, I'll flag it so incredibly hard to run large events on a budget. You have to keep costs low, but still deliver an experience that everyone will enjoy. It's really not an easy thing to do. And I think Francisco indeed managed to pull that off. He brought amazing speakers from across the world to London and created an incredible vibe yesterday. So huge congrats to him and Margot as MC and the staff attendees that came to see my talk. So I mean, when this guy the day after the summit put that on LinkedIn, I was like, oh my gosh, like amazing, like dream, like the dream is done. Like yeah, I'm okay. Like everything, no one can beat me now, kind of. Yeah, it was really like a I don't know, like when you say like circle rounded or round circle moment type of
Yeah,
idea. Yeah, I was
yeah.
like, yes, I was like,
That
oh,
was
okay,
insane.
all the stress is out and yeah, everyone is happy and yeah. So the vibe was really crazy. Like almost a whole week after the event, people was passing and sharing and reposting and we got also
Yeah.
one photographer the whole day taking pictures and also we recorded interviews during the day.
Mm,
No, that was
right.
I'm not sure in which part we talk about like marketing strategy because I'm
Yeah.
a marketer. I also
Yeah.
did a few things intentionally, no. So,
Yeah.
but
Let's get there.
you let me
Let's talk
know.
about the marketing.
Okay, cool.
Let's get there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the base for everything is always a website, no. So that's is the easy part because in my case, I'm a web designer. I can do whatever on WordPress. No issues. That was the easy bit.
Cool.
But then I was always thinking how can I use this? Because I was aware that my resources were going there as well. Like, and I was like aware that maybe no one will be contributing much to cover the expenses.
Mm,
Maybe that was like 100% my pocket or 50% my pocket, right? So I
yeah.
said, I need to use the resources and this opportunity strategically so we can actually build enough marketing assets for next year.
Mm,
No, so that's why on this company that did the streaming, on top of the two cameras of the streaming, we hired a third that was flying around doing
mm,
interviews. No,
right.
and the good bit was Coros came to me and says, Sandrine was working and leading Coros demand generation in that time. She says, "Hey Francisco, we would love to contribute. No, paying." She said, like paying, like a big drop back branded, like a wall branded. So they brought a co-branded chorus led by community, big dropback. So we have a nice place for photos, interviews, recordings, and stuff. So then, I said, okay, so we should record the sponsor experience. So now I have, for instance, when you go to our site, you see if you go to sponsors page, you have Sandrine from Chorus sharing her experience, people from Gainside also, people a Better Mode CEO sharing their experience, Clara from Talkbase sharing her experience. So I was trying to collect proof that what we did was good for brands as well. That was like
Mm,
kind of priority on my marketing list. No, the guy from the
right.
camera got my checklist. Hey, you need to interview these people, these people, these people, these people. And if you're done with this, again, move on to all attendees, all of them. So then we recorded in total 24 interviews, 20 attendees and 4 sponsors. No,
Love
so
that.
that was very useful. No, so now we have a wall of love and we have the interviews and also the videos there. So it's like, so now they're real proof that this happened and people love it. And then on top of that, I sent this Senja form and everyone share, like a text testimonial. So we have 40 text testimonials as well, to as proof that what we did actually helped them level up their career no matter what.
Mm,
No,
yeah. This
so I
is
would say
really cool.
these bits are important if you are getting started because that's the big challenge at the beginning, like to get people
Mm,
to trust what you are building, and especially like no, for instance, this year is 2 days, and then we have also a whole week planned, no, so the ticket sadly has to be a bit higher because you need to get food for days, right? So and only the food is like lots of money for one person, so the ticket this year is a bit high to be able to keep the expenses covered. I'm aiming that this year I don't need to put from my own pocket fully, but the same happened again. But the same is repeating. So now when I announced that the next year is happening, I had to do the same as did last year. I put my
Right.
money back for the place again.
Right.
That process is
Yeah.
still there because the original summit, what we I would say less than even, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
like we got like profits to spend. No. So when
Mm-hmm.
I committed for next year, after seeing all this like madness and happiness from people, I said, okay, no, but we got feedback about the place,
Right.
no.
Okay.
So that was important. So I said, so we need to level up, like kind of
Right.
the environment. So what we did, I checked that Tech Week London
Mm,
was happening in a beautiful place named Plexal, no, and there is an
mm,
area in London, Stratford East here.
okay.
and it's a beautiful place, like very top-notch, kind of modern building and stuff. And they run the London Tech Week there, so I said I'm going to check how much it is. So and I checked with them. Hey, I want to run 2 days conference. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, this is the total cost. No, so you and then last year I started to pay 1K every month for that place
Right.
for the new place of
Uh-huh.
this year. No, then
Okay.
now I'm getting slowly sponsors in, so I can kind of flex better. But anyway, it's like you know that what you did first happened and people love it. So that giving now a bit more trust, on invest
Mm,
of my resources because whatever and I know that in July people will love it again. No, and also because I am
mm,
now aware because I learned what I did wrong, what I did bad, or what could have been done better. So I'm going to like now fixing the small details, right? For instance,
mm.
the day of the summit last year, the budgets came late. The badges,
Okay.
like the
Right, right,
member
right,
tag,
right,
name tag,
right.
they came late, and
Okay.
I had to pay a Uber 40 pounds, like to go there and back to get the name tags because they came late. No,
Yeah.
so small details that can improve in the overall experience. No, so now I know that.
Mm,
Also this year, we built a team. No,
mm,
I'm still managing many things of the operations. But
right.
for instance, Valentina Ruffoni, she will be Francisco during the conference days now. So the 2 days that last year I was like running the whole show, now Valentina Ruffoni will be there supporting me. So we run the show together. So
What
that will
what
be
tasks does that include? Like, tell me about what it means to run the
mostly,
conference.
uh,
Yeah.
well, mostly is you need to ensure that things are happening at the right time. No,
Mm,
there is a program, no? So you need
right.
to ensure that the tech is tested properly. The speakers are fully aware of operations. Where do you need to go? Like how much time before your time of the talk? Ensure that they are fully aware of how the tech works, that they don't feel stressed out. No, and then that the food is arriving on time. All the small details, operations speed
Mm,
wise. No, there are not
mm,
many decisions to make. It's more
right.
like ensuring that things are happening at the right time, right?
Yeah.
But to do that, you need to be aware and moving. Like you need to like running everywhere. And I did that last year, so alone.
Mm,
No, we have volunteers coming because by then last year we have 9 volunteers attending the London conference, and many of them were helping, kind of help me organizing the food. Other group was doing the check-ins. Other groups were helping people with the name tags. No, and then two of them, I remember Nicola and Rudy, they were doing the interviews. No, this
mm,
with the video people because I was busy
yeah.
on the operations bit. No,
Right.
and then so now this year I actually built a team. If you go to community-led world and check about, now there is a proper team. Now we have myself as kind of the big boss. Then we have next to me Valentina as the program manager. Well, Margot Miller is now a partner of the conference, right? Not only the MC, is the official host
Mm,
and one of the partners of the conference. Then we have also Jennifer Serrat. She's in Germany, but she's coming as kind of the second host. So whatever happened, Margot needs a break. Margot needs to drink something. She will be jumping in. Also this year we have 2 tracks. So the conference is 2 tracks. Now we got like 87 applications for speaking. No, so we have 2 tracks. We have the center stage that hosts 230 people, and then we have another place that is named Bleachers. We are going to use this
mm,
technology silent seminar where
yeah.
you use headphones and the
Yeah. Yeah.
speaker, so it's a kind of a talk but silent happening. That's because it's closed, so we want to like
Right.
don't get people disturbed and they can actually learn from the speaker. So mostly we enable this second track. This audience is only 50 people, like in the small silent seminar, mostly because I want to give a chance to everyone to speak. No,
Mm,
it's not like the like very senior people likely will be on center stage, but there are many others that have never had a chance to speak publicly, and they won't, and they have something valuable to share. So that's why I created this small. Even just like enable that is costs, but it's because that reason. I want even myself. I have never have a public speaking in front of 200 people of the industry. No, so maybe I would just start small with 50 so that I don't get nervous and go on, right? And then maybe next year I'll be on part of the big stage. But that's the goal. Like enable professionals that are growing up to have chances to speak as well. Now, the only
mm,
gap will be when in the center stage we have keynotes, that will be off, only for the keynotes. But the
right.
rest is
That
like
makes
kind
sense.
of double running. So you can just swap. Maybe your friend is going to speak in the bleachers. You go down to support your friend. Yeah, come, right? So that's kind of the vibe. Yeah.
Like big, big like this time.
Yeah, I feel that like London deserves, Europe in general deserves something nice, good memories, yeah, and mostly more
Yeah.
opportunities to learn. Like because
Hmm.
honestly, like participating in events, speaking also is part of your career progress. No,
Yeah.
so I feel that having more chances for people to participate is a good thing.
Yeah, I like that. And can we talk a little bit about like a little more about the budget? Because
Mm.
that is the most stressful part of hosting any such conference. And you've
Yeah,
obviously, taken on much of that stress for this conference. But just to make, I want to make things like more transparent to anybody else who thinks of hosting like a different conference for their industry,
yeah. I
and
think
in
that
terms of what they can expect and what surprises can come their way.
yeah, yeah. I think that if we go back to the first year, no, I think it's good to understand because actually this year things evolve. No, but
Hmm.
if we go back to the first year, how things went, as I said, I was trying to tell the story. Many of the speakers, like especially those who travel long, like from US, Canada, Australia, many of them came in a goodwill mode. So
Hmm.
let's say Brian Oblinger, for instance, he came and say, "Hey, I'm happy to come and help. Don't pay
Right.
me like a big money of speaking fee. Don't pay me, right? But just help me with the hotel and the flights, minimum, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
but that is still not low money. Like no, like
Yeah.
roughly you did like yeah, like 2K roughly
Yeah.
in pounds to get that happening. So,
Yeah.
but that is still way less. If on top you
Mm,
need to pay a speaking fee, no. So I would say no, a few partners committed in that way
mm,
no also we have built an ecosystem on led by community so it's not like just like they are kind of coming as speaker we are now building like very close tight knit relationships because we help each other so for instance I help with Richard Millington courses to kind of help him promoting also with Brian is launching wherever I always like shout out and help also now my newsletter is 5,000 readers so now we have a bigger audience and we help them no so
yeah.
now all these relationships are building up no and that means they are more willing because they know that they get value out of it's not just like I'm in goodwill not charging this guy it's not like that anymore now like it's like we have
Yeah.
something to also add towards back or pay back to
Yeah.
them so for instance so last year was kind of like that no for instance Margot also she came and she didn't ask for crazy money she says hey help me to come I want to help me to come no and we did it so I would say that was the lucky bit of
Mm,
being building led by community in goodwill now from the
mm,
beginning I have never been like in the let's make money mode never and probably everyone else noticed that no, it's probably that helps a lot with this happening and saving a ton of costs on the budget. No,
mhm.
and of course, many of the speakers, no, were paid anyway something. No, like it was not free.
Mm,
Like no, like
right.
a few speaking fees around £300, £500, a few even up to a few thousands. No, so on top of these partners that came to in the support mode, we have 24 speakers that day. No, so many of the rest got paid for speaking. It's not free. So you
Yeah.
need to consider, like a few kind of, let's say, like very senior people. They charge roughly 2K, 3K for talks. No,
Mm,
and then the ones that are in the mid range, they charge between 500 up to 1K. That is for 30 minutes speaking. It's mostly because they have accumulated experience across the whole career and they are sharing with you the juicy stuff. Like, hey, this is like actionable stuff, like the big takeaway, a concrete framework. For instance, Valentina
mhm.
Ruffoni shared a whole framework about how to increase the event's attendance in the day. It was beautiful talk. Everyone loved it. She was funny on top, but everyone loved it. No? For instance, also Nikki Thibaudiau from Canada, she came by herself to contribute. So Nikki,
Mm,
kudos for you as well, right? So honestly, like the way that people have show love for this vision, this idea, is overwhelming. I mean, I tell my
mm.
wife every day, I cannot believe this is happening. Even we haven't touched in the local chapters idea yet. That is another
Yeah.
another kind of. But today we have 16 local chapters around the world running by volunteers. We got
Mm,
with Paz Pisarki, this also initiative together for the Community Managers Day. We run together 19 meetups around the world beautiful like and all that is
beautiful.
happening in goodwill because we want to contribute right so yeah and then like that was a bit of the story for last year how things went no the other hard expenses are video like
Mm,
food drinks like all the stuff is no escape no like the
yeah.
food no like the food roughly like decent food to cover 100 people I would say is like 20 25K to kind of cover decent food for 20, like 100, 120 people. No, it's
Mhm.
not that cheap because not everything is sandwiches.
Yeah.
Not everything, not everything is
Yeah.
ham and cheese sandwich. No? So so for
Makes
this
sense. And
year,
yeah.
no, like the budget went up. Like the place is not, it's a bit modern, so it's like almost, I would say per day is like 1.5 of the previous year cost per day.
Okay. Okay.
No, so so the big budget for the place is around 20K total
Mm.
for
Right.
2 days of conference only, without counting the other two events that we have on the week. No,
Okay. Right. Yeah.
so only the conference
Right.
days is like 20K in pounds the place, because we are taking
Mm.
over like the center stage, like a big park for sponsors, the bleachers that is track 2, plus another space for like chatting. And we have one, we booked one like meeting room, only if people
Mm-hmm.
need to cool off. Like let's say there's too much noise, they need to cool off. They can go there, it's quiet, they stay, close their eyes, take a break, and then go back. Or maybe you are working that day, you didn't manage to get a free day, you can go to the
Mm.
conference, and then if you need like, oh, I have a meeting at 10, you can escape out the conference, go to the meeting room, open your laptop, get your stuff done, and then go back, right? Don't tell your boss, don't tell your boss. But like that's the trick. Like, the idea is to
Yeah.
like facilitate attendance for people in the best way. No, so
Mm. It's
yeah.
very
and
thoughtful.
also and also this year, because I felt that it's likely that we are going to get a bit more help. No, or even a few friends that came on pro bono last year, they are getting also now paid some. No, like this year, because I always operate in the fairness mind.
Mm.
Like that's my mindset. No bias, but fairness. So
Yeah.
no one should feel that I'm taking advantage of them. That's my kind of way to work. No, so even sometimes volunteers that are doing something, I say, hey, but let me cover at least the coffee. Let me cover the breakfast for your meetup. I try to help wherever possible, right? So even like this year, a few of these people that came in pro bono last year, they are getting some help. Now, on top of the help to
Mm.
come, I mean like
Yeah.
some extra bits, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I operate in that mind, in the fairness side. And if let's say next year I know that things are going to like keep growing, I will be happy to keep paying. No, and maybe someday I will pay as CMX pay to speakers like lots of thousands, and maybe someday I will be able, maybe, but but for now, I just want for people to feel that hey, like this guy is fair, like now he's getting better slowly, and he's like showing that to us as well, right? So
Mm.
in the end, it's kind of everyone grows together. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of my feeling. Like well, this is the way you need to build with your community. Alone
Mm-hmm.
in silos doesn't work. No.
Yeah. I love this. I love the positive attitude that you're showing through towards like all of this, and just the even though I can imagine like if I put myself in your shoes, it would be really stressful knowing that it's coming out of my pocket until other people are buying the tickets or sponsors are coming and stuff like that is happening. Uh, and yet you have this positive outlook towards everything and everybody helping, and it's like you're just really appreciative of all of this.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, for instance, last night I was at home, and I got the email from the director of corporate events from Gainsight in the US. No,
Mm,
she said, Kat,
yeah.
she says, hey Francisco, we are in global sponsor for Community Week. Oh my gosh, I was like, my stress level went like, good, like, no? So they are like having, honestly, Gainsight is a top brand, so having
Mhm.
Gainsight involved in your projects supporting global is
Yeah.
huge. Like, I mean, they are going
Mhm.
to be helping us in London. No, they are going to
Right.
they are already helping us for now Community Week online, and I'm not sure how much we want to share, but also we are dreaming to run the Community Week in New York the first week of November 2025.
Okay. That's
So
exciting.
this year. No,
I love
so
that.
that is the whole panorama. So March Community Week online,
Mm.
July London Community Week, November
Mm.
New York Community Week.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, big things. So you're going truly global now.
Yeah, that's the dream. No, that's the dream.
Yeah.
I'm betting on that. It's because
Hmm.
it's the only way. No,
Yeah.
it's the only way. It's the only way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're like a true entrepreneur, like betting on the future and bringing it forward type sort of a person.
yeah, the
I
good
love
part
this.
is lots of the cool people from US now. I don't need to pay the flights. It will be cheaper. That's the good part.
You just need
I
to
need
pay
to
the
pay
flight for
just
yourself.
mine.
Yeah.
Just mine. Well, I want to bring my family because I don't want
Yeah.
them to think that I am partying a whole week there, right? So I said my wife, hey, New York is happening, so we need to go
Yeah.
there all together. I have two kids. I have two kids, so
Yeah.
it's not that easy. But I want to, I want them to be there with me because it
Hmm.
will be like a very kind of full circle time also. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I'm really, really happy. Yeah.
community everywhere actually was the first conference in 2023. We are not touching that anymore. That brand will going to
Mm,
just die there. No,
okay.
like, mostly as a history for us, like part of the history. That's why I keep the site up. No,
Got it.
but
Okay.
it's like just part of the history. Now the big
Hmm.
brand to remind, because even led by community is not that easy in the minds of people. No,
Hmm.
but community week is easy, like clean, easy.
Mm,
No, so
yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay. I've got like basically two big questions for you,
sure,
and then
sure.
we will just wrap and talk about the
Yeah, yeah,
future, which is the community week.
yeah.
That.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So the first question that I'm sure like everybody listening to it will be going over their head is how do you pitch big brands for sponsorships? Like, what is that process like? And maybe can you share like any of your pitch decks or like a sample or something?
That's a good question. I created actually for Community Week one. Actually, there is a interesting thing I did for Community Week now. That
Mm,
I killed the levels. Actually, there is no
okay.
levels anymore because usually for sponsorship
Mm,
you get like a gold
a
and
gold
premium and
platinum
silver,
ceremony,
and
yeah.
I thought that is a whole mess. Like, so I kill it.
Good
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah. To be honest, this is like kind of the the sixth maybe version of it. No, I mostly have been learning on my own. Sometimes I have been able to see how other brands are doing it. One inspiring, growing community that I'm actually a member. I am very close to the founders as well. No, Asher and Chris from Partnership Leaders. No,
Yeah.
this community is beautiful. What they do is amazing. I almost end up working for them last year because they needed someone to take over their conferences in London and Europe. No, almost. No, but yesterday Chris messaged me on LinkedIn and says, "Hey, Francisco, London is happening. Please join us." No, like, but yeah, I love that. We have very close relationship. Anytime I chat with them on Slack, and it's good. But I feel that, and also I have learned mostly, because at the beginning I didn't, but like companies need leads. That's the easy point. They need leads now, but they need also leads that and data that they actually can use. Because
Mm,
if you say, "Hey, this is a list of email of the attendees," but do you know the location? Do you know the role? Do you know the brand, the company? Do you have the profile URL of their LinkedIn? So there are a few minimal details that you need to. And in my view, what I have decided to do is I'm happy to share leads with sponsors, but from whoever has agreed to get contacted by sponsors or partners. So now, for instance, on my summit registrations, I usually ask, when you join the community week later, you're going to see a question, what type of communications do you want to receive from us? Sponsors, like lead by community newsletter or the week's comms. No? And once you get that, then your data is safe. So you can actually, but because people gave you the consent of that.
mm,
So that is one point of the value. The second is the insight or on-site experience. Like, if you're running the conference, ensure that they are well attended, that they have everything they need, that they have clear operations bit where they should go, where they should move and install their stuff. You also should ensure that they know the size of the space they have, what are certain like security limitations and things like that.
mm,
No, and once you have that clear, they are happy to, and they feel safe also to to participate. Now, regarding the value, I think that you need to also dive a bit deep into like the type of people who are attending, like let's say the seniority role, demographics, and things like that. So this is the example of the deck that I am sharing with
mm.
companies that are becoming sponsors of Community Week. No, let me click this. Then at the beginning, because this is a new brand in this case, what I am doing is explaining, kind of introducing the new concept, Community Week. Hey, based
Mm,
on what we did, with Community Led World Summit 2024, we are excited to the things to the next level with Community Week, our new flagship brand, uniting online and in-person events for community professionals worldwide. The pitch, no? And then what is included is Community Week online, happening in March, London Community Week, July, in person, and New York Community Week, November, in person. And then I have a small highlight here of last year. There is a video that should be loading here, but it's not there anymore. And then I'm showing the logos because each place has its own logo. No? So this is like the intro, so they can start understanding that there is an ecosystem of things happening around Community Week. The next is one. So then the next step is I am explaining each initiative, a bit of data on each initiative. So this is what is happening on Community Week Online. No, so these are the roughly audience. No, very based on like segmentation. Then we know that we in 2023 we received 1,000 registrations for community everywhere. So I'm sure that I can get way more than 1,000. But you want to be honest that hey, at least 1,000 for sure, right? 12 hours of content, 20 sessions, 30 speakers, right? Then top professionals from industries, position your brand on influential decision makers, showcase your expertise, etc. Then now London. Now London, we have way more assets to show, no, because we did no crazy stuff. So here now I'm explaining the structure of the week. So no, a week fully packed with community learnings. You point where is happening, the date, right, and then July 8th, community strategy hackathon. July 9th, community-led work summit day 1. Then July 10th, community-led work summit day 2. And Friday, Unconference Plus. This is the pictures from the one that we ran last year in London, Unconference Plus, right? Then next page, there. This is the example, no? So a bit more of the conference by itself, the value of the conference by itself, because the conference is now the core of the week, the core of the concept of the week. Then again, similar, you do the breakdown, attendees, sessions, sponsors, blah, blah, and the audience. This is I would say, the key element of the data that they want to learn, no? Then show that you need to brag about a beautiful place, right? And then you need to include social proof. People really love what you do. Yeah, they do. You want to see the full thing? Yeah, you can click here and you go and see the full thing. No, so all videos, all testimonials, everything is here, right? And then keep going. And then the dream for New York. Keep going. Now New York hackathon conference and then conference. No, then based on your location, no, in your place, you know that I can only hold up to 200. No. And then it's one day, so less speakers and less sessions, etc. But the audience is a bit different. No, in US it has way more senior people. No, most of the heads are in the US based. And then this is the place where we are going to run the show. No, it's a beautiful place also. No,
Beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's very close to the bridge in Manhattan. So yeah, and packages. No, so I always show Margot that is the principal host and partner.
Got it.
Sorry, one bit. This bit, previous sponsors should be there also. Like, no, so it's like kind of a no pressure way. No, for instance, if I am pitching again Gainsight, they will see their logo there. Oh, we already helped this guy. Let's do it again, right? No, and then brands. There are a few brands that hold. No, a few brands even have hold 2 years now. No, a few. I don't want to say the brands. No, but like I have pitched the idea and they say no. And then this year, even one of the brands, 5 team members attended the summit, right?
Right.
From UK, and they are still not committing to help. So I cannot believe it. For me, it was like, oh wow, so disappointing. But it's life. It's how things work, right? Yeah. So it's important to include who helped already, so they can do an idea of their competitors are helping, they are supporting, etc. Right? And then here is the sponsorship value. No, so global sponsorship now is including presence in all 3 major events: online, London, New York. Then these are the perks: premium brand visibility, both in London and New York, sponsorship. Mostly they will be visible everywhere and every com related to any of the initiatives everywhere. This is the global sponsor. Gainsight, for instance, got this yesterday. Right. Then because now we have weeks, I created a package for a week. Let's say maybe a startup, that is working locally in the US. They don't want to go for London yet because they don't have enough bandwidth to but they can serve in New York. They can just get the week. So this is like a week focused in-person sponsorship. So booth, in community week and stuff. And then only for the online bit. Another tier is only on the online bit. The online bit is a bit more affordable money-wise. It's a bit more affordable money-wise because it's easier online to scale. So yeah, but mostly you need to ensure that they have a proper link, with the proper UTM to be tracked, so they can measure performance and return and all that. But what I am doing, this is too quick to read all, but at the end of every package, I am adding like a bonus. So on top of anything related to Community Week, what they are getting, I am offering one online event as part of my led by community ecosystem. Right now, our events are getting 300 plus RSVPs. So it's really
That's
good
fantastic
now.
offer. Yeah.
Yes. So they can, like, let's say they are doing a product launch or whatever. They have this as a kind of, like a magic card. Anytime they can, hey, Francisco, we have this coming. We want to share with your community. Let's do it, right? So I included this as kind of a bonus, a bonus perk. And also I have added a new. This is new. So before the last year, and I have seen this in many others kind of decks, based on the tier. Also, sometimes the speaking opportunities are tied to a tier. But what I did to keep it lean, I waived all speaking opportunities from packages and just include them as an add-on. So the
Got it.
package doesn't turn crazy expensive because you have a speaking slot. Because even companies, for instance, this course is already a sponsor for London Community Week, but they don't have, they are not able to bring a speaker. So they don't need that. Right? They needed only they are going to send someone to have a booth and to help people with these course demos and stuff, but they don't have a way to bring a speaker yet. So this year they said, hey, we don't need a speaker, so let's go for the week package only, right? So I feel that is, you are giving a bit more flexibility, like a la carte, rather than pushing a price for things that maybe a company doesn't need right now, right? So I feel that is one big learning, and that was the big shift on my deck for this year. No, so in general, the value is big, the cost is not crazy high, and if they need to speak or they want to speak, that is like extra. No? Yeah.
Okay, this is
I think
really,
that
really
this is kind of,
yeah.
then I just put always a few notes, like, like all packages include 2 tickets for promotional, they can give away, 3 tickets for team, right? If you need taxes, these are like, and then
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I
But
love this.
that is kind of the idea for the sponsorship. Yeah, there is no perfect science. I would say it's only like, but even sometimes you get feedback from sponsors about like, hey, you should explain better this or that, so you can try to tweak it on the go. No?
Makes a lot of sense. And thank you so much for sharing that. Like this was insanely valuable for, people watching this on YouTube to be able to see the sponsor deck because, that is the most secretive part of the deck. Yeah.
It's not a secret. Like, no, it's a, yeah. So, but mostly, as I said, my brain is, I want to help. So if someone, even like someone is listening or seeing this episode and need to just brainstorm how to get started with the conference, just hit me up on LinkedIn and let's have a chat. I'm happy to help. No problem at all.
Love this. Love that, dude. And again, one final question for, from my side before we get into what's coming next, Francisco, is can you tell me a little bit about the tools that you use to run this conference? So the tools that you use on the attendee side of things, and also what you use on the admin side of things.
Yeah. I'm going to say this is important. I hate Notion. Okay.
Okay.
So we will never use Notion. But the first thing is, for me, is WordPress. It's for website building, landing pages and everything. WordPress. We use Elementor as builder, like page builder. Then, well, we use lots of Canva. I use lots of Figma. No, I'm not a fully fledged Figma designer. What I do, I have one of my best friends. We have been working together 6 years. He's Lawrence, and he's based in Dubai. He was with me at BuddyBoss when I was marketing director there. He was the creative director. So since then, we partner and we work together. So actually, all branding that you see is done by him. All branding,
beautiful.
Everything.
Beautiful.
Yes, the guy is a genius. No, so everything. And what I do is just grab what he did, and then like, hey, I need to resize something. Yeah, I just clone it and then resize. Sometimes destroying stuff, but yeah. And then we do lots of Figma. So most of the designs are Figma based. And then what I do, I export the templates, and then turn them into Canva templates. No, so you can actually get people working on them without going to Figma, because sometimes it's a bit scary. No, but I'm happy using Figma as well. Then for registration stuff, well, a few years, last year we used Gradual, right? No, but I would say if your conference has a streaming component, Gradual is a very strong solution. If it's in personally, I would say if you want to go lean, even Luma at this stage is enough. Like, it's enough. No, we have our tickets this year are still being sold through Luma. Also, you get a bit of perks for Luma. No, if your initiative is good enough, they also can feature your tickets in the city. No, so last year, for instance, Luma gave us a hand and put the Community Network Summit also featured for 2 months or something like that.
That's amazing.
So that was very good. Yes. What else we use? Well, we use spreadsheets, sadly. Yes. The good part is that Valentina is the one doing the spreadsheets and she's the one managing the spreadsheets. I'm just looking at the spreadsheets. That's the best part. Because yeah, whatever is a spreadsheet and Notion is not me. I am more creative side of things. So all the stuff I do, I use Whimsical. All the planning, all the mapping, all the structuring, even like wireframing, everything is for me Luma. Oh, sorry, Whimsical. That's my
Oh,
tool, not Miro. No,
okay.
Whimsical. Yes,
Okay.
Whimsical. It's way more cheaper than Miro, and it's like really good, really good. Now they released even at yesterday project management inside Whimsical. So yeah, now
Okay.
it's perfect. So Jira, goodbye. Yes. What else? Important tool. We use Beehive lots.
Okay.
Beehive is our main email
For the
newsletter,
newsletter.
but on top
Mm-hmm.
we use Beehive for comms. Like
Hmm.
like based on segmentation, because you can build segments. We send a specific comms, and for our entire ecosystem to track, we use Talkbase. Talkbase is
Hmm.
integrated with Circle, integrated with a few other like Slack and other tools. So we in Talkbase we are seeing we manage community applications. We also manage analytics for each space inside our private community. Also, I can easily spot who are my top members, who are missing out, how the community is growing month to month, week to week. Yeah, all that. Talkbase is becoming gradually very useful. Yes, yes. They still have some room to improve on the event side, but on the analytics, they went crazy. They have been doing very good stuff. Clara
Hmm.
has also been a supporter for what we do.
That's amazing. I love this. Okay. This is really, really cool. And thank you so much for, once again, being so open and sharing all of your knowledge with everybody listening here, Francisco. It's been so useful and so enlightening to have a peek into your brain and the big like empire that you're building here with community lab.
I always say
It's
we are building.
inspiring.
I
Yeah.
honestly, without the volunteers that we have today, 28, nothing of this will be possible.
Hmm.
It's about them. No, it's not about
Yeah.
even it's not about Francisco. This thing, I'm just like behind the scenes moving things around, but it's actually the people getting the stuff done. No,
Love
so
that.
yeah.
Let's talk about what's coming next. Let's talk about
Ooh,
Community
the,
Week.
the exciting stuff. Okay, so
Yes, show us.
if I am allowed, let me quickly share my screen.
Yes, let's do
Uh,
it.
I'm going to so let me share my screen again. This side. So oh, sorry, I got some noise here. So we have the community week, as we discussed today. We just launched the community week as a new brand that will kind of own all kind of big summits and conferences in person. So in 24 days from the recording of this episode, hope it goes out before that.
Yes, it will.
No, we have gathered top community professionals. For instance, Esther is from Amplitude. Well, Richard is there. We have also Erica Cool participating, and Mario. No, and also this guy Andy from Glide. Gillian from Calendly, etc. So many great talent coming as part of the online summit. Victoria Cumberbatch will be hosting, and then here we have Danny from LinkedIn, Giannini from Bridge. So also Ana Maria Dorgo, she's great. Like in the kind of learning and development. We got also Carrie supporting this summit, Christina Garnett, also Ed, also Eric Martin that he leads also Community Club, but he's currently also head of community for Midjourney. So yeah, exciting professionals to learn from. And then I would say the big difference this time is that we have enabled a whole hub to leverage the session. So you don't need to just put your email and your name in a sheet. It's like you create your account, you join the hub, and then we have a
Mm.
space where people actually are introducing themselves with the rest of the attendees. There is another space where I am sharing the official announcements. I created also a place where I am also guiding you about how you can use the hub, how you can get the most out of the hub. But the big bit, everyone is joining mostly because the sessions. So inside the hub, you can see all the sessions, of every person. Let's say, oh, I want to join Jillian's. So I just click Jillian. You can see the details. If you want to learn more about the talk, everything is here. The big concrete perks are here. You can see a bit more of Jillian. The host for her will be Rudy. And then you want to go. So then you click here, I'm going. That will trigger calendar invites and reminders for the sessions and all that. So you don't miss out. What we wanted to do was to provide flexibility. So you just, if you want to miss something specifically, you just chose your sessions. And we have
Mm.
also enabled everyday kind of after party networking. So you can also have fun and RSVP for one of the networking sessions after each day. So it's Monday to Friday, March 3rd till 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3rd to 8th. No, 5 days of sessions, 3 hours every day. I think that it will be lots of fun. Yeah, I feel like
Yes, well,
it will be
this
lots.
sounds,
Yeah, and then of
it
course, if
does
someone
sound like
is
a lot of fun.
if someone is curious, no, you can also, if you want to learn more, you can apply to join London Community Week or New York Community Week here, no, and you will get no, you will hear back from us soon. Yeah, you can see, of course, like, it's like a proper community, no? Like you have the members directory, you can follow other people. I have been also chatting with a few people. You can see my DMs here, no?
Mm.
Uh, so no, it's a full-fledged community, but that is enabled to run all live streaming sessions right inside. No, so everything stayed in home. That's the idea. Yeah,
I
that's
love
it.
this. This is
So
beautiful.
please don't miss out. Join us. No, it's free to join. Just click here, or if you say I'm ready to join the hub, click here. You join the hub, and then you go straight to the community. Done.
Love this. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. So if you're listening
Thank
to
you.
this or watching this, just go to the description and click the link in the show notes. That will be the first link here.
Love it. Thank you.
All right, I love this. I can't wait. And I'm not in either London or New York, unfortunately, but I will, just be watching, like trying to catch a few of the live streams because this sounds wonderful. And especially knowing the backstory of the entire venture and, the heart
It's
and soul that
crazy.
you're putting into it,
Yeah.
Francisco.
You
Yeah,
you
it's
are the only
crazy.
one. You are the only one who have heard the whole thing. No one knows everything.
Wow. That is,
Yes.
I am really humbled to be the first person to hear that, hear your story,
Yeah.
Francisco, and share
What
it with
I'll
the
do
world.
is what I'll do myself with your video. I'll use it to write a blog post, and I'll place your
Perfect.
podcast at the top of my newsletter. No? Hey,
That
this is
sounds
my
amazing.
story told by Nitesh Agarwal.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Nitesh,
so much for joining.
Nitesh, this is great. Thank you so much for allowing me to open my heart and tell this story. Honestly, I would say this is becoming the story of my life. Yeah, I love
I
being
love it.
involved in communities. I love to help others. That's part of my mission. No, I am a no. So I have
Mm.
like guiding principles that kind of encourage me to keep delivering goodness for others.
Mm.
And again, just my appreciation for this opportunity. What you're doing also is great. Your platform is getting every day better as well. Have been spying you, so keep going, man, keep going. No, but no,
Thank you.
everyone is welcome to join us for Community Week. You looking there, everyone is welcome to join Community Week. And again, thank you so much. I'm really humbled for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Francisco. This has been a pleasure.
Nice.